Hi there, I'm Tyler, and you can usually find me over on the DIY Tyler channel on YouTube, but today Carolina asked me to answer a couple questions, so I'm over on their YouTube channel, and it's kind of exciting. The first thing they wanted to know is how old was I when I started woodworking? Honestly, it's only been a couple of years. I was probably 22 or 23. And we bought a house, and that's very expensive, and a lot of the furniture you find nowadays is pretty much rubbish. So I decided I needed to do something about that, make some things that will last for my family. But really 22 or 23 is when I got my own workshop together. It started off very modestly, and then I started making my own furniture for my own house about 3 or 4 years ago. And like I mentioned before, a lot of what I know now I learned from my dad, but even more so than that, the community around me now, one that I'm part of, the YouTube community and the Instagram community, was a big avenue for me learning what I'm able to do now. And now it's even more awesome because I can add back into that community with some of my own ideas. What is the oldest piece of equipment in my shop? I'm pretty lucky that I had some really good Craigslist finds and great sponsors, so I don't have a ton of old equipment. I would say the oldest tools in my shop are probably my Craftsman jointer or my Delta contractor table saw. Both of them have the heavy cast iron tops, heavy cast iron wheels, and that's kind of hard to find nowadays. I knew when I was looking for a table saw that I wanted something heavy duty that you could wrap on and a quarter wasn't going to fall over, and it's also a very stable machine. One tool that I can't live without, that side tool pouch that I wear. I use that every single day, everywhere, whether I'm cleaning gutters out, whether I'm maybe tightening up a door in the house or something, or here in the shop. You can do a lot of things without a table saw if you have a circular saw and whatnot. But I really love to have that side pouch. Have I ever had to improvise with a more unconventional tool? That's kind of funny, because the iron I have in the shop more than my wife uses in the house. I've got a weird fascination with iron-on edge banding. I love the stuff. It's a very relaxing task for me to do. So I'd have to go with the iron. Is probably the most unconventional tool that I use quite a bit in the shop here. It allows you to take kind of a rough, unfinished looking piece of plywood and make it look like a solid piece of wood. Fantastic. This is still just a side business or a hobby for me. It is a lot of work, but it's definitely worth it. The community is fantastic, and I get to make these videos on projects that I would be building for my family or my house regardless. And then I get to work with great sponsors like Carolina Shoe, and that is just the icing on the cake. Where does my inspiration come from? I would say 99% of the inspiration breathes from a need that we have. Those are also my favorite projects. If we need them, I engineer a solution for them, and then I build that with whatever medium that I need to get my hands into to get that done. Yeah, sometimes you gotta make something if there is not a solution out there for you. A lot of different needed jigs are easy to whip together in the shop and get done. But the box joint jig that I made, I use quite a bit, and that is a very accurate tool. That is not my design. I tried to come up with my own design, but there's so many other good ones out there that I picked the one that I thought fit my needs best. It happened to be by John Hayes up in Canada, and I built his, and I've used it for many years now, and it's a very accurate tool. The other cool homemade tool that I've made is a portable horizontal mortiser. Again, not my design, because there was a couple other designs out there. Tried to come up with my own, and the rotation mechanism that this guy Alexei from Russia actually came up with was unbeatable. So I just went with his design, put a little twist on it on my own, and now I have a portable mortiser that works pretty well. I wouldn't say it's going to replace a Festool Domino, but it's a lot cheaper. Oh, if I had an unlimited budget, what would I do? I would definitely begin by upgrading some of the tools in my shop to accommodate wider dimensional lumber. And then I would start building some chairs and rocker gliders. I've always wanted to build chairs. I don't think they would make the best YouTube videos in the world, but I think it would be really cool to accent the dining room table that I built with some homemade chairs. Great topics for conversation. And I love me a good glider at the end of the day. So I've always wanted to replace the ones that we have in our house with something that I build with my own hands. Which projects have given me the biggest sense of accomplishment? Like I mentioned before, that kitchen table that I built out of ambrosia maple with welded metal legs, that one is special because we sit around it as a family multiple times a day eating our meals, and it looks great. So that one's definitely special. I did a big set of lockers for an addition that we put on our house, and they just turned out spectacular. So I'm very proud of those. They look great. The finish on them is probably the best finish I've ever been able to put on a piece of wood, so that's exciting. But overall, I would say I'm most proud of my home. I'm not just a woodworker, I'm DIY Tyler, so I do everything around the house, whether it be landscaping, jungle gyms for the kids, roof repair work, so I'm very proud of my home and how I've been able to keep it up. So there you are, guys. I hope you enjoyed this little interview with Carolina Shoe. And as always, big shout out to Carolina Shoe for being a sponsor of my channel and allowing me to do what I do. I'm DIY Tyler. You should check me out over on my channel. And you guys have a good one.